Alright, here we have a Life Deckathalon, starting at level 1. We're going to see how far we can go. So this will give you an idea of what spells you need to use. Now, this is the first enemy on the first level. You just need a ghoul for him. I can get it to come up. I got a lot of cards in my deck. So here's our ghoul. So the ghoul goes right there. And this is easy. Now you have to remember, the higher the deck, the higher your resist and the higher your damage. So I'm getting 225 here. But if you go down to deck number 1, you might not kill him with that spell. So the point is, you have to try and get the biggest decks. And one of the best spots to get past is deck number 5. Once you get to deck number 5, it's a stronger deck. You can do much better. Both of these guys, they're just a ghoul. So the start part here is like just walk through. I don't even just walk through. I don't even use shields here, because these guys, when you have a deck 8, your resist is so good that these guys can't even hit you. They can't do anything to you. So don't waste your shields down here if you have a big deck, or depending on the size of your deck. And when you're using death spells, if they hit you for a small amount, I'm getting 0 because of my resist on my deck, but if they hit you for like 50 maybe, don't bother wasting a shield. Because with a death deck, you're going to get your health back as soon as you hit them. So here's one of the ghouls. I got one more ghoul in there. Might take a lot of dumping to get him. But the ghoul will do these first 3. The first 3 monsters. Even with the trap, he can't hit me with my resist. So I'll get rid of everything here. I need to find that ghoul. There it is. So here we are. We pretty much, unless we fizzle, we're pretty much got room number 2 done. So if you don't have any decks, pick a deck that you can put jewels on. The health jewel or the resist jewel. Here it's resist for life resist. A deck that will do that, and also a deck that has the most treasure cards, because that's the only thing you can use here is treasure cards. You can't use anything else. But the jewels work on the deck. Now, this guy here, it takes a vampire to kill him. We defeat this guy with a vampire, but I need another pip. And that's the other thing. The bigger the deck, the more pips you have at your starting pips. So even with the ghoul that we started with, you might have to wait till the second turn to get enough pips if you don't have a good enough deck. So in other words, to win the entire decathlon, you need to get the biggest deck that you can get. You have to craft those, of course. And they come from, at the end of each level, they come from, here's Kara Runewright, you just look in here as deck number 1 you can get here. So you can craft that deck number 1 by getting the recipe from her. You can't get it anywhere else. You have to come in here and fight to get it. So this is number 1. Number 2 is here, and maybe I'll show you my deck before I go further. The deck, when I have a lot of space in my deck because I have number 8 deck, but there was 3 ghouls here and a vampire, and other than that I have all this, and you need lots of shields, death trap, death blade, couple feints. These ones here, if I can get up high enough, and you need lots of brass and vampires. So this guy is a straight up vampire. No, don't need any buffs. Well, we need a pip, and he can't hurt me either, so I'm not going to put a shield on. $19 is not too much. If you don't have the resist on your deck, that would be probably over 100. But I got a vampire here, so we'll just do this guy with the vampire. The next room is the Viridian Blade and the Moustache. Moss Stash. And they're both a vampire. You have to adjust this because if you don't have deck 8 like I have, the vampire might not do it. You might have to put a trap on or something. But this will give you an idea of what you need to do. Now normally, if you come in here without the resist, you'd want to put a shield on here. But I'm not going to. I'm just going to wait for my vampires because they're going to heal me back. And these guys, I have enough resist, they're not going to hit me very much. I can just pass here. I don't have enough to use a vampire anyway, enough pips. Now the one that you aim for is the one that has the most threat to you. These are both the same. They both have a blade, they both have 3 pips. It doesn't really matter which one, because you don't know which one is going to hit. If you knew which one was going to hit, that's the one you'd get rid of, but you can't tell. So now it's a waiting game to get the pips for another vampire. With a low deck, no, you'd be using the shields as well. I don't need to use the shields. So what I suggest, if these spells with the lower deck aren't enough, then put a bunch of traps in. Trap would probably be enough to cover it. And write down what your hit is. Like depending on your deck. Like I've got lots of paperwork here, and I have written down, this is what deck 8 does, and this is what deck 5 does. And there's a fair bit of difference. Deck 5 in a vampire does 431. Deck 5 or deck 8 with a vampire does 719. So there's a fair bit of difference. So now we can use our vampire. is pretty much straight run through when you've got a high deck on the low levels. But boy, you get up high, they start getting tough. All right, our next guy here, Dire Timberwolf, his health is 370, and with my deck I can do a vampire. And of course, the higher you go, the harder they hit, so I'm going to have to start using shields eventually here. Here we have Mr. Frond. Mr. Frond has 450 health. And for most of you, you're going to have to add a trap to that. But I don't have to. I can just use a straight vampire. And you'll see in the next room, you would probably have to add a trap here if you have a lower deck. In the next room, even with this deck, I still have to start adding buffs now. And if you notice, my vampire does 469 hit with my current setup, 469. And in this room here, we have Mr. Frond again and Leif Erikson. Now Leif Erikson, he's 500 health. And my hit only does 469. It's not enough. So here's where you would want to add a trap. Use a blade, a feint, or a trap. But the trap is sufficient here. And I'm going to do it. Normally what you'd want to be doing is putting shields on here, but they can get a hit on me, but I can heal myself with the vampire for as much as they hit. So I'm not going to put a shield on. We got the trap on. We don't need a trap on the other one, but we need the vampires to come up. I'm just going to pass. I'm too lazy to click them all up. Now you'll see that without a shield, he will get a hit on me here. See, 154 is quite significant. And of course, we all know healing pets in here are quite helpful when they feel like doing something for you. So we'll get a hit on this too. But even without my pet, my vampire is going to heal me anyways. If I can get it to come up. Well, Well, there's one vampire. Well, we're going to dump all these because I want my other vampire to come up too. But you'll see my health is down a little bit. I usually have 1,000 here. The one with the most threat to us is the one with the blade. So we're going to do him first. You always hit the one that's the most threat if you're going to be able to defeat an enemy, defeat the one that is the most threat to you. That would be the one with the most buffs or the most pips. So one is gone. And we have another vampire, but we need one more pip. So we'll just pass here. Nice of him not to hit us. And we'll do this. Okay, so this is the middle of room 3. The last room in room 3 has the bog stalker. And he is 550 health, which for my current setup is a vampire and a trap. The key to winning this game is to know your enemy. Know how much health they got. Know what spell it takes to beat them. If you know it in advance, and you're not going to know unless somebody shows you, or you go through and find out for yourself. But after you're through a few times, you find out what their health is always the same, and what spell does it take with what your setup is, with what you can do for damage. So here I need a trap and a vampire. So I'm going to put the trap on him, and I'm not doing a shield yet. It's getting a little closer. I'm going to have to, because he's going to get some hit on me here. But the thing about it is when he does hit me like this, now he doesn't have any pips. And now he can't hit me the next time. So it's knowing as the game runs what's happening. And one of the biggest thing is how many pips does your enemy have? Because that's the power he has to hit you. You don't need to know if he's going to hit you or not. If he has pips, you can take for granted he's going to hit you. Now we need a vampire here. So we're going to have to dump all these cards and try to find a vampire. We have enough pips, so I'm going to draw them this time because I could use it if it would come up for me. It doesn't, so I'll just wait to the next turn. At the start, when you're going through a number of levels and you got a lot of cards in your deck, it's the start that you have to do a lot of dumping because you can't get the card you want to come up. Near the end, you got less cards in your deck, so you don't have to dump so much to get what you want to come up. That vampire don't want to come up. I've seen it where it was right at the end. I got 15 cards left there. I've seen where the card you need is the last one and you just have to keep dumping. But I don't want to use a bigger spell. I need it for later. And start dumping. See, I could use that, but if I do, I'm not going to have it for the next guy that I need it for. Come on, vampire, where are you? Well, he's going to be last. I'm going to dump that Wrath last in case I made a mistake and don't have a vampire in. That vampire don't want to come up. I wonder if I even got him. It's got to be the last card if he's there. Maybe I made a mistake. Do we have a vampire? Oh gee, I don't. Wonder how, I probably dumped it by accident. Alright, I gotta use the Wrath then. I got exact cards in my deck that I need, so it means that I'm going to be short of Wrath when I get up further, most likely. So stage 3 is completed, and we're going to stage 4 now. It's the Mire Wormling. He's 660 health, requires a Wrath in my case. I'm just going to look and see that. No, I don't have that other vampire. Guess I didn't put the extra one in. Oh well. Alright. So here we need a Wrath all by itself. And this guy can probably hit me more than I like, so I'm putting a shield on. I probably could get away without the shield. Especially this hit isn't really very big anyways. I'll get nothing on me with that. So a Wrath is 6 and we've got 4. I'm just going to pass. Gets the blade on, you got to consider, do you really want to pass? Because the blade is going to give him a little more hit there, obviously. But he didn't do it. Now I would be putting a shield on. A blade and a trap together. However, we have a Wrath already. Now if this fizzles, it's what I call the fizzle of death. Which means that you fizzle and then he hits you. And I've died that way before. This guy, I don't think he'd kill me anyways, but he'd take a lot out. There we go. Now, these guys here, the Great Ant, he's 730. And if you notice, my Wrath hit 719. So the 730 is higher. I need to put a trap on him. Trap on the ant. And there we have a trap. We don't need Scarecrow here. We don't need this many of these. I'm going to take them all out. I got lots of them. And I put the trap on there. Now, I would normally advise put a shield on, but I ain't going to take the risk because I don't think they can kill me anyways. Alright, there's a Wrath. 2, 3, 4. We need 2 more pips. I'm going to put a shield on. If they both hit me, it might not be good. And see, this hit does a good hit. So even with the shield, you know, only didn't get nothing. Nope. No hit. But there we are. See, we get the second hit. So technically, I should have put the shield on the first time. 184. Oh, my pet comes through. My pet always seems, yeah, everybody says it, it always seems to heal you when you don't need it too badly. Then when you get really, really low health, your pet don't heal you and you get killed. Had that happen. Alright, get the traps on here. We need 2 Wraths up. We got one, but we don't have enough pips. We need one more pip. And according to proper procedure, we should be putting a shield on here. They don't have enough pips to hit anyway, but they will. Alright. So, the one with the most threat to us is the one with the most pips. Nobody's got any buffs over there. So now we need a Wrath. I already got a shield on, so I'm not putting another shield on right now. But we got a lot of pips to go. We only have one pip. The thing to remember is you don't have to worry about having shields because the enemy's going to hit you. You have shields according to their ability to hit you. This guy has one pip. He can't hit me. I can pass. No way he's going to hit me. But if the enemy has pips, you really want to put the shield on. I'm dumping these because if I fizzle, he's going to go back in the deck. And then I'm going to have to do a whole bunch of dumping to get him. So I might as well do it now. Doesn't fizzle as much as it used to in this game. Never used to fizzle a lot. But it still does once in a while. Oh, 3 pips. He might hit. Nope. So the thing is, the amount that he's going to get out of me, 397. So let's say my Wrath will give it back to me, and maybe it will almost. Well, my pet came through anyways. So there you go. Yeah, the Wrath would have healed me anyways. Alright. This is the last room of level 4. Grove Guardian. 810 health. Takes, for me, a Wrath and a Trap. And he starts with a few pips. I got our Wrath and our Trap here already. Probably not a bad idea to put a shield on. Well, not going to give me the pips. He don't have any pips. He's not going to hit me. I'm not putting shield on. Save your shields when you don't have to use them. forget to put the trap on? Oh dear. There you are, making mistakes. I forgot to put the trap on. Well, there you go. Now we need another hit. That's what happens. If you make mistakes in this game, you could lose. Forgot to put the trap on. Well. No power pips. They're going to make me wait for all these little white pips to get up to 6. The problem is when you make a mistake and waste a spell, so I wouldn't have had to use this spell. Now I'm going to have less spells to get further. Wasn't fatal though, I didn't die. So there you go, level 4. Here's level 5, Scaramechium. A wrath with a trap. Probably should quit here. That's really level 1 to 4. Maybe I'll do level 5 too. And we have no wraths showing up. I hope it wasn't the one I lost that I need. Should have checked my deck. I bet I don't have a wrath. I think I don't. of Wrath. Last one up. Nice thing about Death Wizard, you get your health back. Some of these decathlons are difficult when you only got half your health and you gotta go into the next room and start with half your health. Makes it more difficult. With these Death Wizards, they heal themselves with their spells. Alright, so level 5 in the middle. What I usually do here is a Scarecrow and a Blade. I'm just going to make sure I got them this time. So Scarecrow and a Blade, I got lots of shields. Let's go for it. And level 5, you pretty well got to put your shields on when you're even with a big deck. But I do want my Blade and my Scarecrow to come up. They can both hit me with them pips. So it's a good idea to put another shield on. So I got 2 shields in case they both hit me. Yeah, they did too. And we still do not have a Blade that came up yet. Where are all the Blades? Oh, I missed my turn. Huh. Well, our Scarecrow's ready. These guys are going to hit me. I got to put a shield on. I was going to put the Blade on and hit, but I think they're going to hit me. And 1 shield is probably not even enough to slow them down. Anyways. Alright, I'm going to take the risk of the Blade now. This guy probably not going to hit me with those pips. This guy might. But if you know anything about the Scarecrow, as long as you don't die, you have all your health. And we'll see what he hits when you don't have a shield. And he's got a trap too, though. Might be a good hit. Yeah, pretty good. 431. However, there we have a Scarecrow and we have a Blade. What we need for these guys. So now we have Carbuncle. His health is 1090. I don't know how I mess my deck up, but I usually do him with a Wrath and a Feint, but I don't have no Wrath. However, Dr. Vaughn will do it, just it takes so many pips. So we'll go in and aim for Dr. Vaughn for him. Most of these guys hit you with a good hit at the very first. So you're pretty much always better to put a shield on. And we need 9 pips. We got 6. You got a blade now, but I have a shield. Dr. Vaughn. He does 1,128 with my setup. More than what he's got for health. There you go. Level 5. And this is Kara Runewright, who has all the decks. Well, should we continue and do number 6? Number 6 is a little harder. Of course. We got a wood imp here. I wish I didn't have. I forget my Wrath. I made a mistake. I didn't load my deck right. Dr. Vaughn with a trap will do it though. I could have done it with a Wrath if I had it. Here we're going to put a shield on right away because these guys will hit me pretty good if I don't. And I better put another shield on. He has 4 pips. It's enough to hit something if he wanted to. Now he has a blade. So put a trap on him. Dr. Vaughn does 1,128 damage. Wood Imp is 1,200. So we gotta put a buff on, which is that trap. And then it would be enough. We got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pips. We need 9. Better put a shield on. That's considering you don't have a negative on you. They use these spiders up here. They put the spider, they use that spider, it's puts a 25 negative, minus 25 negative on you. Anyway, this guy with a trap, he will do 1522, which is above the health of the enemy. And keep in mind, he does 1522 because of my equipment. Specifically, I have deck number 8, life deck number 8, which gives me damage equivalent to doing 1522 when I have a trap on him. If you have a different deck, it's going to be different. Now we better check our deck, make sure we have enough cards to do this. Annie Mall, she's nasty. Yeah. Oh, I not even got the right one. It's not Annie Mall. It's Crystalline Doubt, Sea Devil. Yeah, they're not that bad. Scarecrow Blade and Trap on both of them. Do I have that? I don't know if I got it or not. Trap on both Scarecrow and Blade. I do have that. So our goal here is to get a Blade on, a Trap on each one, and the Scarecrow. And that will work as long as they don't put a negative on me. I don't know if these guys do it yet. I think it's the next level. We're going to need lots of shields. I hope we have enough. Well, better put another shield on. We need a blade and we need a trap on each one of them. I'm gonna put a trap on one. Take the risk. I've only got one shield here. They could both hit. They could easily both hit. Well, we got lucky. Now they're probably gonna both hit for sure. Let's put the other shield on. One rule of thumb is, if they don't hit you when they have a whole lot of pips, and they could hit you, it means that the next time around they probably will. And I don't think they're going to hit this time. I'm getting my blade on. The hard part is to get the buffs on and stay alive. Once you got the buffs on, that's in the upper levels here. Once you got the buffs on, then you don't have to worry about the pips because you already have so many because it took so long. I don't have another. Oh dear, you know something? Do I have another trap? Oh yes, I do. Here we go. So I'll get the other trap on him. I'm probably going to get hit here without a shield. Taking a risk. This guy, it'd be nice if he didn't hit me, but he might. Yeah, he's going to hit me. So I'm going to take a hit here. 294. There, my good old pet. Thank you, pet. So now we're in a very good position. We have a blade and we have a trap on both of them, and we have all the pips to do the scarecrow. And we have nothing left hardly. So we're going to do the scarecrow, and we're lucky that they didn't put a negative on. I don't think they do though. I think it's the next level that does the negatives. So there you go. Level 6. Second level, second room of level 6. Now here's Genghis Prawn. Genghis Prawn is 1460. I wonder if we have, do we have anything? We got shields, okay. A blade, a trap. A blade and a feint. We don't have any trap. A blade, a feint, and this guy. A blade and a feint with Dr. Vaughn does 2779. And this guy is 1400. So if we can, even the blade. Even the blade alone would do it. So of course we're putting our shield on because we're going to get hit. And we don't have pips for Dr. Vaughn anyway, so until you get those pips you can't hit anyway, so we need to get the shields and buffs on. And stay alive. I better put the shield. Standard practice is to always put your shield on. I could get away with it. He's only got 2 pips. But I'm going to put the shield on anyways. Now we have a shield. We're free to put any buff we want. So I'm going to do the blade. And a blade with Dr. Vaughn in my setup, that's 1635. Which would be enough, unless he puts a negative, which he might. Put a shield on it. Should I put a shield? 4, 5, 6. If I got a power pip, I'd have enough for Dr. Vaughn. I hope you don't do the spider. Oh, that's good. Eight pips. We need 9. I'm putting the shield on. I'm not taking the risk. 3 pips, he might do something. Alright. So, this should work. So there you go. level 1 to level 6 in one run. There you can get deck 6 if you can get up here. And deck 6, pretty big advantage because it gives you the tier and the square sockets. Or deck 5 only has the tier. So if you can get deck 6, it's a big advantage because you can put a square jewel in there, which is resist to life. And that's a big advantage because then they get less hits. You can see I've got a 56 one on my deck and I have deck 8. And I just use the 124 health. I do have 125s, but I only have 2 or 3, so, and I got a lot of the 124, so when I go to deck 9, I will lose that jewel. So I don't want to put the 125 in there. I'll put the 125 on deck 10 if I ever get it, which is going to be a long time. Anyway, there you go. The Life Decathalon, level 1 to level 6 complete.